I bet you really think you got me right, but it's gonna take a fucking army trying to stop me, guy. So run your mouth, and son, I promise that you're giving up. The error in your ways is expecting me to give a fuck. I'd say I gave a couple million and it never changed. A broken-hearted bitch looking for some better days. So where's the fucking bag of money with my name on it? Send a beat through, I put some fucking flames on it. Drop some game on it, hip you how the world spin, and then slide off in a drop with your girlfriend. Whirlwind, leave all these bitches heads spinning, and I ain't rocking with them. They ain't trying to get finished. Get finished, I can help you make
hey, welcome to Red River Podcast. Langan, you having problems up there? You good?
Yeah, my headphone jack doesn't seem to be working.
It's all right. We'll you know what? Once we get the proceeds from this year, we'll put in for a new one.
We got to crunch the numbers. See what's in the
That's a
budget.
lot of numbers to crunch. Davey,
I got the old school plug shit, and I don't
me
even
too.
excuse of not charging them, and all of a sudden they just stop working. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I'm charging my headphones. But anyway, listen, Red River Podcast, the last episode, we're going to talk hip hop records. We welcome back somebody who we've been friends with for a while, even though we've never met in person, but that's only because who the hell could afford a ticket to fucking the UK where he lives, fresh from walking his dog. How was that dog walk?
That was lovely, thank you. Lovely, nice walk around the neighbourhoods.
What'd you listen to? Because I know you listen to something.
Actually, what was my number one on this list?
Okay.
I don't give it away.
Yeah, for sure. I almost feel like we have the same number one, to be completely honest with you. I just have a hunch that we do. I'm going to say this year is the first year in a very, very long time that I feel like rock really overshadowed on my list. I felt like I felt like I connected more to a lot of the rock records that I heard this year, and the hip hop records, some of them just were too long, too much of a mixed bag. I like the production was cool, but then there was like these like random ass songs with like just crap beats that I just didn't connect to. I still have a pretty decent list, but it's just like this year was the first year in probably like 10 years where I just didn't, right?
Yeah, I was the same, man. I had a lot of tracks I liked, but then when the whole album, sometimes I was like,
Yeah. So Davey, I just listen, I clocked in at about like maybe 60,000 Spotify minutes. No one beats Davey. Davey, like you had like what, like a 250,000, right?
I have no idea, but yeah, just a few.
You're not padding those numbers. Are you putting it on and going to sleep just to beef them up?
That's correct, yeah.
He just hits play all week long.
I got a lot of people, counting on me to get some heavy minutes in here.
It's like his Fitbit when he sleeps. He just throws it on.
Just playing dead on a loop, playing dead.
No wonder we could afford blank cassettes. All right, listen, you're the guest, and we're super happy to have you. So before we start our 10, do you have any honorable mentions that you want to shout out that didn't make the list?
Before I say it, my list is my things opposite you guys. Hip hop has been this year for me has been phenomenal. My list is I had about 200 albums to start off with, narrowed down to about 50. So I've got 20 honorables and 10 on my main list.
Yeah, listen, well, bless us because we might have missed some. So let us know.
I can start on the honorables.
Yeah.
So firstly, Apollo Brown and Planet Asia, Sardines. The next, Be Cool Aid, which is Leather Boulevard. Bohemian Grove, which is Alaska from Atoms Family, Ray West. Chez Noir or Never was really good. The Fly Hooligan, that's a mixtape though. Day Tripper, Death at the Derby, which is a soccer-based hip-hop album. Derek DAC, El Michel Affair and Black Fort, Hemlock Ernst, it's the guy from Future Islands. Jam Baxter and Grand Uja, so it's like the Spanish and English hip hop album. Michael Parkinson, Mike Ladd, Parental, the good Brazzavlag, it's like German hip hop. Perfecta Matt and Retro Gots, more German stuff, or French and German. Preach Jacobs, Sketch 185 and Jeff Markey, Still Tip Dove, and Stick Figure and the Expert, and Verbs Nelson Dialect and Mr. Slips.
God damn, this guy. You know, and this is the beauty of the show. I fucking love Apollo Brown and Planet Asia. Had no idea that they put out an album. So that's why we're here. Because I'm sure that would have made my goddamn list, because I love Apollo Brown's production. You brought up Chez Noir. The record they did together was so fucking good. You know, his production is very, I mean, you know, I hate to say New York, but it's just so reminiscent of, like, you know, old school RZA to me, you know, with the samples. Okay, cool. So now let's crack into your 10. So give me the album that made number 10.
So number 10, I'm going to go with very apt one, which is OJ Aborigines, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes. This is complete left field, and you won't believe this. It's a Roger Corman influenced hip hop album.
Roger Corman influenced?
Yes. This is weird, full of weird samples. Almost every track is based on one of his films.
Oh, that's great.
So there's like 13 tracks. So you've got, like, you know, Little Shop of Horrors, Death Race 2000, The Trip, and every song is just as I can imagine it sounds. So it's like New York hip hop, but about Roger Corman.
I gotta check that out. That sounds great. I mean, that's the most random topic I've ever heard.
Me, it really suits the podcast.
Having you on here, I would learn something.
Yeah, you know what? Little did I know we were going to mention Roger Corman in the first 10 minutes of this episode. I had no idea. All right, Lang, give me your honorables.
I got Mickey Diamond, Capital Gains, 38 Special and Conway the Machine, a Special Machinery record, Sky Zoo and the Other Guys. And then the last honorable mention I have would have been my number 10, but because an album dropped, the son of a bitch, like after I already made this list, I hate when people do that. I bumped it down to an honorable mention, and that's AZ's Truth Be Told.
Oh, wow.
That's I was blown away how good that record was. And because, you know, AZ's always been, it's really those old MCs, they can still all spit, but it's a matter of like who they get to produce that shit. You know, they get a little new blood in there or something like that, kind of gives it, you know, another life. I think this was when Buck Wild did this record, and he crushed it. But
I'm a fan of just the one producer. Like,
yeah,
I just am, like, you know, and I really came to that conclusion this year, where it's like that, just that cohesive thing of like, okay, here's the producer.
Well, that's going to give you the album versus that just a bunch of singles, you know, glued together and put out. Yeah. But like, if the one guy's working with one guy and all the way through 12 tracks or whatever, I think it's going to make for a better product. But yeah, so that's my last honorable. And then my number 10 is a band that I first checked out a couple of years ago. They've always been on my radar, Jazz Spastics. And the MC they with is Beneficence, I think his name is, but I think Jazz Spastics, I don't know a lot about them, but that seem to be the collective of the production. It's really, you know, if you miss that native tongue sound and shit like that, just shut up and press play on this. This is going to scratch that. It's a lot of MCs that I don't know. The only ones I recognize, obviously, are Doodlebugs on there, Sky Zoo's on there,
cool,
the track, and J Live is on there. But if you're missing that jazz influence hip hop, this thing is fucking awesome. I was trying to look up who they were, where they came from, and then just Bandcamp pages and this, and I'm like, fuck it, whatever. I don't know where they're from, but they're great.
Yeah. Okay, so my honorables, I have a few as well. I'm gonna go with Millie's. You know, Millie's put out a lot of projects this year. The thing that he did that I love the most, of course, is the record with Static Select in 2018. I think it's just, he is like a newer guy, and he's definitely more into like the trap beats, a lot of the singy stuff. But when it comes down to actual like bars, he's fucking great. He's really fucking good. Long Island guy, Coastal Castro put out a record with this guy, Johnny Slash. I love Johnny Slash's production. Very good. Super kind of like unknown stuff. They put out a record called Slash Coast. And it's just really good. Just like super it's just hip hop. Like you hear it and it's like the essence for sure. Black Thought put out a record, which I'm sure is probably on one of your lists, right? All right, so I'll skip that. Ill Bill, Billy for me. Once again, just way too much. It's like a double album. Like I like a lot of the stuff. I just, I'm sure you guys have Paz on there as well, right?
You don't have Pat, but I got Bill.
Okay,
coming
yeah.
up.
So Vinny Paz put out All Guests in the House of God.
It's like a triple album.
It's I like that record too. Sometimes but I feel like I'm kind of over all the religious talk. I feel like in a way we're heading into like DC talk territory. And that's fine, man. Good for you. Crime Apple, the first year in a long time that he didn't make my top 10. He put out a couple of projects. It's just, once again, the production on a lot of the stuff didn't really hit me. So I got a couple more. There's a guy named Rashid Campbell. Really fucking.
I got that too.
Do you? In your 10?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about
I
it when
think
you
he
get
put
to
out, which record are you talking about though? Because I think
Sugar
all
Bills.
these put out like
There's
3
only
records.
He only put out one. He put out Sugar Bills.
Yeah. All right, because a couple of dudes dropped a couple, but yeah, I have that on there.
Okay. DJ Muggs also on my honorables for Death Valley. Love the CeeLo song a lot. And the last one is The Fly Hooligan. Last two. The Fly Hooligan. Not the mixtape, the other one. I forgot the name of it. What is it called? It's called FOMA. I love like a lot of the beats, just really cool, grimy stuff. Never heard of them. Heard them. Crime Apple, like I think they were on a song together, and I was just like, oh, this is really good. And from then I've been a fan. And then the last honorable mention that I have is a guy that has been doing his best work in the last 10 years, ASAP Rock, Integrated Tech Solutions. Man, the production on this, so cool. Like, I think he did all the beats again, but it's just like the visuals that he's putting out, it's just very like 80s. It reminds me of like the show Severance. Like, it's just like a lot of the visuals just like kind of like retro, but like futuristic retro or some shit. And just great skits, really interesting stuff, really cool beats. So then we're gonna get into my number 10, and I did a combination because these are two groups that are new and they put out a lot of singles. So they didn't put out a record, but they put out like 9 or 10 singles a piece. A group called the Same Olds. Great social media presence. They pay homage to a lot. They just put out a single called Fu Tang, so it was like a mixture of like the Fugees and Wu-Tang. Really cool stuff, kind of remind me of the Far Side with everything they got going on. And then these two girls, maybe from Maryland, I forget exactly, Flyana Boss. Great stuff. But like I think they did 9 singles, and they got on the Missy radar. You Wish. They're very big in TikTok. They keep like they're very good with the visuals. But if you listen to it, it's fucking fantastic music. These two groups are both new, and they just reek of hip hop. Like they're just so much fun. Just super fun. Nothing more, just like like beats and rhymes, and they're having a really good time doing it. So that's my number 10. Back to our guest, man. Davey, what do you got?
I will go back to the number 10. It's funny, the Jazz Spastics did an album with my number 10. My number 10 is actually a group of Pen Pals. I think no one's Pen Pals. Pen Pals did an album many years ago with Jazz Spastics.
Okay.
And Jazz Spastics I get from UK, from Edinburgh, Scotland.
Okay, cool.
I don't know how you pronounce Edinburgh in your neck of the woods. Edinburgh.
Okay. It's pronounced.
So my number 9
pronounced
is,
Scouser.
My number 9 is up to Toronto, Canada, Mathematic and Math Universal. Anyone
Mathematics.
heard of this? No?
No.
Hmm.
Yeah, you got
No,
you.
he's an old 90s MC. No?
No.
And the production's from a French producer, Parental.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the French. Shout out to the French, man. The French really they do their thing on the production. A lot of stuff, man, for sure. I'll always go back to Jazzmatazz, you know, when Guru did the stuff with Le Bien Le Mal. Like that song was always like one of the bangers off Jazzmatazz. So all right. Number 9. I gotta check out that Jazz Spastic. Sounds great. So
like it.
and I feel like on your last list, the last time Davey was on, I feel like you might have mentioned them.
I might have. I have no memory.
Number 9, Langan.
You mentioned before Ill Bill's Billy album.
Yes.
You know, that New York, Brooklyn goon shit. That'll always have a place in my heart. One of my favorite tracks of the year, the Jordan Threes. That track is on that record. I love it. He also put out that awesome Billmatic mixtape. That was fun this
I
year.
love that one. Yeah.
That was super fun. You know, I didn't put it on there because it was using other people's music, whatever. But that was a lot. That was a fun listen. But you know what you're getting with Ill Bill and the Nonfiction Crew and La Coca's Roasters on there. Our boy Goat has Nems, OT the Real. You know,
Yeah, he's got the whole crew, and he had a really cool rollout. You know, he took his time with it, so he was dropping like singles for it, and I mean, he's back doing stuff with his brother, which is interesting too. So,
yeah,
and I love like, so I don't really like the combination of those two. I think their styles are very different, but I'll always listen to it. But the last thing they put out was called Madness, that single, and they fucking sampled "Can I Play with Madness" by Maiden. And I was just
yeah.
like, fuck yeah, you fucking guys are awesome. Okay, number 9. One of my favorite rappers of all time. One of the coolest dudes I've ever met doing a podcast, Q Unique, put out a record called Pound for Pound.
Yeah.
When I would listen to the Arsonists, I would always wait for Destroy's verses, and I would wait for Q Unique. Those were like the two. And then when Q went on to do his own thing and did a bunch of stuff with under the Ill Bill flag and stuff like that. He came back with Pound for Pound, which I think is like probably 7, 8 songs, like just a perfect 30-minute fucking listen of just like he did a lot of the beats. Obviously, you got Fieldy to play bass on it, and it's great. Just really, really good stuff. Came out probably pretty much in the beginning of the year, if I remember correctly. But every song you listen to, he's such a great storyteller, such a great lyricist, and I fucking loved it, man. It's great to see him. It's probably one of my favorite projects that he's ever done. So it's awesome to see him in 2023 after discovering the Arsonist like 25 years ago, that he's still doing stuff that I love. So that's my number 9. Back to you, Davey.
I had no idea he did a new album. I had no idea. Definitely check that out.
That's why we're here, buddy. That's why we're here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So number 8, I'm going upstate New York, Rochester. I'm going to DJ Green Lantern. So he did a jazz album. It's called Jazz Dream. It's quite long, or about 45 minutes, and just pure jazz. It's just full of samples, the pianos and saxophones, and it's very late night music. I think it's some Biggie sampled on one track, but it's just instrumental hip hop.
Unbelievable. I had no idea. Once again, that's the thing. I fucking love Green Lantern.
Sure. Who did? Yeah.
Yeah, like the record he did with OT the Real, Broken Glass, I think it was called, is my favorite of the OT albums. Like his beat production on that was fucking crazy. So I had no idea. All right. So back to you, Langan, number 9, 8. I don't remember. I can't count.
EK is the artist. The album's Atlantic Rap Volume 1. It's didn't know anything about this cat. It's he's a Canadian producer. Think it's like it's in that, think like Premier or Pete Rock, like that kind of style. Another album like the Jazz Spastics, delving into the jazz influence of hip hop. Track Circa 91. That's primo. Check that out. That'll give you a taste of it. It's not a long record at all. And this might be 8 songs as well, too, a nice amount. But again, this is in that native tongue, 90s boom bap
I
kind of
love,
jazzy shit.
yeah, like, listen, everything evolves and like, production changes, and I like a lot of the newer stuff, but like, man, when you hit me with like the jazzy stuff, it's just always going to catch my ear above everything. It's like,
The connection of jazz and hip hop together is just so natural and
yeah,
makes so much sense that I think it's just gonna have an appeal. It's gonna.
we're like Black Sabbath #4 birthed so many fucking like, stoner metal bands. You take something like fucking Low End Theory that like perfected. It's like, okay, well, where are your children? Because I mean, you hear fucking Excursions and you're like, oh my God. You're like,
Yeah.
please don't stop. All right, so I got Recognize Ali, and our buddy Stu Bangers put out Gorilla Dynasty. And I'll tell you this, man, Stu, he has the sweet spot. Anytime he posts like beats that he makes and he works on, he has this thing that catches like my ear at all times, like whether it's like just the samples or the shit that he uses. It's just immediate. And Recognize Ali has a really like distinct vocal. It's just like, I think he's from upstate. I don't even remember, but I know his boys would like would fucking gore. But he has a really fucking interesting delivery, and a lot of great songs on here. Pulverized with Lord Goat. Just really good stuff. Very, you get the Stu fucking like great beats, and then that fucking off kilter, like fucking, he almost reminds me of like Noah the Flood from like Houston, which was like another artist that Stu worked with. They have super unique voices, which is like very hard to do these days in hip hop anyway, I think so. Gorilla Dynasty #2, the sequel to Gorilla Dynasty 1. So back to you, Davey, #7.
So number 7, Arm & Hammer, We Buy Diabetic Test Strips. So to me, I've been a fan of them two for a while. It's their 6th album in 10 years. It's an amazing, phenomenal album. It's full of LP did a track on the album. It's a really good album.
Still, it's one of those artists I never hit play on. I just always see he always makes the list. I feel like we're having super different lists right now, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Everyone's picking their own thing. So you said Arm & Hammer, and did Alchemist do that?
Not this time, no. He did last time, yeah. He did the last album, didn't he?
Okay.
No, I would say it was JPEG Mafia.
Oh,
what's her face? I'm trying to think of their name. Kenny Siegel, who did the Billy Woods album as well. Still Tip Dove as well.
I just slipped onto Billy Woods. I like him.
Hmm.
Man, so many, sometimes, you see something like Recognize Ali and it sticks out so much that when you see Billy Woods, you're just like, who is this? Like, it's the engineer on the album or something, Billy Woods. All right, #7, Langan.
I got that Rashid
Yeah,
Rashid
Rashid
what
Campbell.
was it, Sugar Bills. Yeah, with the archetype on the beats. Super great. That's another name. This is probably the first full length I remember really getting into him. I've seen him on a million tracks coming out and stuff like that, but this is the first full length that caught my attention. But the production's so great. It's got that nostalgic tune. Got plenty of cuts. You know how we feel
Yeah,
about cuts on choruses as
we do
opposed
love
to
the
stuff.
cuts. I saw him live. So when I went to go see Nonfiction do their reunion show in Brooklyn, they brought out Little Vic. So Little Vic does great beats, and he did I think like an EP with Rashid, and that was the first time I heard Rashid. And then he brought him out to do like my favorite song off that EP. And from that moment on, I'm like, all right, I'm checking for this guy. Lil Vic too. Like I love his fucking beats, but Rashid definitely on this just had some great stuff. He has Rome on the record, 38 Special.
Rusty Juxx, Slane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a name that I've been had on the radar for like the last 2 years. So, the record before this, I'm going to tell you what it is. You got to check
Good album cover too. Good
Gotta
artwork
check
on the album cover.
Where the fuck is it? I got to find. Oh, A Portrait of. So that was last year. Portrait of. All right. Yeah, him and Little Vic put this out together. It's very good. Super recommend on that. Probably better than I like that record probably the most out of his catalog. So, all right, number 7. So, the upcoming like from 7 through I would say 3, so much work that I'm like I have to like condense everything, right? So like I fucking love OT the Real. And he put out 3 records this year. And the record that he put out with Black Soprano Family, a lot of good stuff. But goddamn, they're on some like fucking like just things where it's like, I get it. You for like the 18-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, whatever. But he put out Zombie, which is that one. It's Almost Over. And then the one in the middle called Red Summer. That's my favorite out of the 3. So that's the one that I'm going to really shout out here. He's got Boondock Saints, which Millie does a feature, which second or third song that they've done together. But 9 songs, perfect, and I think a skit. So we're doing good. When you listen to certain rappers rap about certain things, you look at them and you're just like, I don't think so. When I hear this guy and I see him, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy definitely, I'm not saying he caught a body, but I'm not saying he didn't either. He definitely has that, the way, thing about him that seems super genuine, great lyricist, just like when it comes to like drug rap and like goon rap shit, he's very good. So, OT the Real, Red Summer for me on this one is number 7. Davey, 6.
Number 6. I'm going to sound super English when I say this, but
Yes.
classic.
I love
Classic.
it. Sorry, I keep talking over you because I just want to say awesome. I love when people sound like we never get this, so it's probably like when we talk New York, everyone's like, "Oh man,
New York."
Yeah.
So classy or classy? The album called Good Seeds. It's over on Bamboo's record label, Beat Rock Music. So it's a female MC. It's a debut album. It's just super nice and like a warm blanket, just jazzy, feel good, sort of put a smile on your face. Hip hop, very Californian, very just feel good hip hop.
Have you ever been to the States?
I have twice, yes.
Where?
East and West.
You want to be vague?
New York, Brooklyn, and I've been to Orange County, California.
Oh, that's it. That's all you need, really, to be honest with you.
Between that.
What did you do? So, like, what, vacation in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it was lovely. I went in February. It was super cold.
Yeah,
it was snow. It was an amazing time to be. It was snow, and I got thick snow everywhere. It was beautiful, but super cold.
Very cool. All right. Number 6, Langan.
6 is the edit that I had to make to push AZ off my list. I had to put that Bun B Trill Static record.
I got that a little bit further up.
Sit on that for a minute.
Yeah.
So you get it.
So we'll talk about that when we get there. Sure. I got Che Noir or Never. That's a Big Ghost record, Big Ghost Ltd. Now, one thing that we never mentioned on the show is a long time ago, this guy, Big Ghost, would put out these like blogs as Ghostface, like shitting on like Drake and all these people. And we would laugh at these articles where his persona was Big Ghost, and he would just like, he just would shit on like, oh no, it was the softest rappers list, and it's the funniest shit ever. And he just, when he was talking about Drake, he's like, you'd probably see him playing the harp in the woods somewhere or something, like just like outrageous shit. But so yeah, and then he went on to be one of the greatest producers of the last 10 years Chez Noir, Noir or Never. Fantastic stuff. You know, you got the crew on here too. You got Planet Asia on this stuff. 9 songs, but absolutely killer stuff. She's a really, really, really fucking dope lyricist, man. She hopefully this year she'll get more props, you know, like her Rhapsody. I even like Megan Thee Stallion. I think she's fucking great too. She's a great lyricist. She might have made the 10 if she put out a record, but there's a lot of really good female MCs. So that would be my number 6. So let's get into the top 5. Davey.
Number 5, I think one of you might have this one. Czarface Intelligence.
Yeah,
I mean,
later. Yep.
If it came, I was going to say, if it came earlier in the year, it would have been maybe 1 or 2, because it dropped like beginning of December. Obviously, I got a lot of listening out of it, but I would have got more out of it if it didn't drop in the 1st of December. But I think 10 years, 9 amazing albums. It's phenomenal.
I didn't get a chance to really dive into it, but what I heard I liked. I love the Nem song. The one thing about them is like their beats are fucking great. They're always fucking great. And they put in a lot of work, but I just did not get enough time with it. So it's definitely not on my list. So where you have it higher up, Langan?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So what do you got? Number 5, Langan.
I got Husk Kingpin, Threesome, Volume 4 record. I also got a shout. I didn't mention him in the honorables, but he did that. You know what he's done with Portishead and all these different acts that have Bjork. He did it with Tricky.
Max and Quay. Right?
Max and Quay album they put out too. I love what he does with that shit because they're not just straight lifting songs. They're really like sometimes you wouldn't even recognize the original version of the song, but
he's a fan. Like he's a fan. He's like legit a fan.
And this album, he does a lot of for lack of a better term, covers of some old beats, like All Day by Al B. Sure, which is a great fucking beat and shit, but with him rapping over it straight up. There's a song on there called Night Rider, which is one of my favorite tracks of the year. Another one that uses the Police Roxanne or that Trick Daddy Trina one when they redid it in the fucking 2000s. He plays with that a little bit. So, but I like him going because in rock world, cover songs and stuff is very commonplace and stuff. But in hip hop, you don't always see that sometimes. You know what I mean? So it's taking some of these beats and doing it. Like I like that, honoring those.
Yeah, you don't really ever really see it.
No, it's not like I remember hearing somebody. That's a big difference with the rock and hip hop community. Like the rock community, as long as Paul McCartney can sort of stand up, they'll roll him out to any award show and everybody's standing, respect or whatever. But hip hop's the old heads or this and that. It's very dismissive of shit that came before, and that's old.
How dare you disrespect Sir Paul in front of our guest?
He knows what I'm talking about.
Starting a war right now. All right, so number 5, so Conway put out a lot of stuff. Conway the Machine put out a lot of stuff. The thing that I liked the most was Won't He Do It until I heard Palermo, which came out last week. But it's like, okay, I only had I don't know, 7 days with it. But Palermo sounds like the Conway album that I've been waiting all year for. I don't know who 1-2 is, but he seemed to have, did the production on it. Do you know 1-2, Davey?
No.
Yeah, he's the name attached to it. I think he's like a French guy. But yeah, Won't He Do It is great. I mean, definitely like my favorite out of everything. But Palermo is just like the stuff that you really want Conway on. It's just like those beats, and I guess it's kind of like tied in.
1-2. Yeah, no, 1-2. Yeah.
Oh, you know,
1-2, as in 1-2. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I had to WNBC. I had to get that in there for sure. But yeah, man, listen, these guys from the time that we've been listening to Griselda for, almost 10 years now, constantly. I mean, granted, they put out a shitload of records a year, which is a little overpowering at sometimes, but they never like, go through my top 10 of like the last 10 years. And these guys are constantly in it because I guess they're just
I wish they'd let me sit with some shit for a minute. It's like, yeah, I
right.
get how prolific you are, but you fucking,
Yeah,
I already forgot what you just put out now.
I know but I think as time goes on, I think Palermo is going to be the one for me. But those two records in particular, and he did a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, man, Conway the Machine does it again. So, Davey, number 4.
Number 4, it's Spectacular Diagnostics. Chicago-based producer, and he basically has about 1 million guests. Actually, a lot of them are UK, but also American as well. Illogic, Cody Castro, King Kashmir, Sonny Jim, Kid Acne, Prem Rock, Fatboy Sharif, Lee Scott, Bisque, Mike Lads, and Juice Aleem.
So what we're gonna need for you for sure. So like with your top 10, because I'm super curious, because so far I don't really know it too well. So definitely make that playlist of just the first 10 and do like 2 songs for each one, because like I would like to just sit with it for sure.
So this is 16 tracks of sci-fi inspired hip hop.
Crazy.
It's good. It's as it sounds. The album cover's all weird and strange as well. It's very out there.
Okay. Yeah. When you need shit to write about, listen, you're talking to someone that is constantly trying to figure out what to write about next. I'm like, gee, I don't know. I've had the same girlfriend forever. I've had the same life forever. What can I write about next?
Requirement.
Yeah, that's it. Actually, you know what? I'll switch it. I'll go to Lloyd Kaufman. That'll be my contribution.
Give him some shine.
Yeah. Number 4. So that's number 4 for you, Langan.
Czarface, as mentioned before. Jack does no wrong in my eyes. He's really, overall, I'd probably say he's my favorite MC of all time. Anybody, not just in the clan, just always consistent. Great features on there. The track with Nems is one of my favorites of the year. The track with Kool Keith, and Logic, who I can't stand, but on this track I like him. Why do I not like Logic? What is it about him that just rubs me the wrong way?
His glasses?
I never really fit, but I don't know.
Super talented, but I don't hate him. I just don't have an opinion on him.
Yeah, I don't know. So every time he opens his mouth, I fucking want to smack him. But this record's fucking amazing. I love that Deck is I've said it a million times. I'm so happy that he's having this fucking moment with this band. He deserves it, and it's fucking killer.
Yeah, more than any of the guys in the clan, really. Like no, like they were all doing their thing, but like Deck really.
Even Pace won the race. He's just out there. There. I don't know. Ghostface pops up in my radar every now and then, rapping on somebody's song that like
you're
I'm
right.
Convinced he doesn't even know the guy. They clearly just said he fucking said some shit on it, and
you're like, right. You're totally right. My release radar will end up with like it's like, oh, cool, like Ghost put out a record, but it's not. It's just a feature of like 3 names you never heard of, and then him.
It was like there was one that came out today that had every track had a net member of the clan name with this cat. He looked like this riffraff looking motherfucker, like in the picture. I can't remember the name of the guy. It was fucking terrible, man. Like terrible. But like each track said Ghostface. That's what I on it. That's what I fucking done it. So probably some like dude whose dad it's like his dad's probably in the music business. He put his bar mitzvah money together. Dad cut a check to the Wu-Tang and put
Listen, can't knock the hustle because next year I might need Ghost on that Playing Dead record. So I'll shut up right now. Okay, so my number 4 is we're gonna do Static Selecta. I had Round Trip. Just listen, anytime he puts something out, I just fucking love. Like he is like the the heir apparent to Premier. Like they're from that same universe. And Round Trip just has so many great songs, but it's just like it's his production. You know, I'm sure he could have Fred Durst on there and it would be great, you know? Be like, oh man, this Fred Durst song's pretty good. And it wasn't till like Trill Static came out, which is the third in the project, and I'm listening to it going like, yo, this is just as fucking good. Like, it's so good. All the features are there, but it's like him and Bun B, obviously. And it just works so well. You know, it's that same like crew of people, like the Terminologies, the fucking, you know, the Nems, Benny the Butcher's on there. Bunch of fucking just killers up on there.
You're talking about the Bun B
Yes.
record now.
Trill Static.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
both. Like, but it's just Round Trip was always gonna be, you know, it was my number 2 for a long time. I went back a little bit. But now it's just like, you know, you could smash these two records together and it's just really good. Now that Trill Static came out, it's just Bun obviously has his Texas, you know, slang and swagger to it, but there was a time where I didn't appreciate it. Now as I got older, I'm like, okay, like I get, I wasn't fucking with it in my 20s.
I never fucked with that shit down there. Like never, you know what I mean? Like I just
I've evolved
wasn't
as a human.
No, I'm just, you know, I'm just getting over the grudges from the 90s. You know what I mean? I'm starting to, you know, forgive.
Yeah, you're finally listening to Death Row records again.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're finally ready to embrace.
I didn't even hear it. So yeah, he never got on my radar till later. But goddamn, this record features Meth, Benny the Butcher, Nems, Khalid Kweli, Cody the Fiend, Graf, CJ Permanent. I mean, it's fucking stacked, man. And normally I'm just at this point in the year, somebody puts something out, I'm like, unless it was Run the Jewels did that one year at like fucking 0.
Like Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was listening, I'm like, this is so goddamn good. Like, I have to put this on this list.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing. I gave it a slash next to a Round Trip. So, all right, we're in the top 3. Davey, bring it home. Number 3.
Number 3, Billy Woods and Kenny Siegel, and the album Maps. So the last teamed up 4 years ago, back in 2019. This is kind of like a sequel kind of thing. It's just a nice, pleasant album. A trip about going somewhere, literally, sort of finding your peace, finding home. It's a really good album. So Billy Woods.
Once again, I got to get into. I saw him on a feature. I forgot who he featured on something. Maybe it might have even been the Rashid Campbell record. I don't remember, but I just saw like Billy Woods. So I got to check that out. You know, especially if you have it at number 3. That means it ain't no joke right there. So, Langan, number 3.
I went with the El Michels Affair Black Thought record.
Okay.
Glorious. You guys both had what honorables on those?
I had it on my honorables. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I heard it before. I'm loving this prolific Black Thought outside of the roots that we're getting like the last couple of years with the Danger Mouse record. He's got something with Madlib in the works, I think, coming out. I think hopefully. I saw an article on that. I hopefully. The El Michels Affair, I guess it's a guy, he used to be in the Sharon Kings and the Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, which was tight as fuck. I don't know if you listen to any funk or soul or that revival shit, but that band is tight as it fucking comes. So I love, it's a perfect combination, those two together. And yeah, he's done some cool shit. He did actually some full band instrumentals of like Wu-Tang tracks, like GZA tracks and shit like that. El Michels Affair, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah. I had no idea. Like I didn't know that he was part of the Dap Kings, but that makes sense. Yeah. With like the music that he's So
I think he's in Minahan Street Band as well, is he? Because I saw him live a number of years ago.
Okay.
Oh, what's that?
Say it again.
I think he's in Minahan Street Band.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a quick bio search on him.
They were performing with Charles Bradley and Lee Fields many years ago.
Oh. Once again.
These guys are tight as fuck.
That makes sense. And also, so that record kind of reminded me of like the Adrian Young stuff that Ghostface did, you know.
Sure.
But I love that one a lot. I love that one a
Yeah.
lot more for sure. All right, so number 3, here's another guy, you know, back to Griselda, for the last of my Griselda, Westside Gun, and then You Pray for Me. Lots of songs on this album. The ones that are really, really fucking good, I fucking really love. But you know, like with everything that, you know, there's like a couple of like these different beats that I don't really love, but then you get like Suicide and Selfridges, Costas. I mean, this is just like littered with fucking like bangers. So let me see. There's 21 fucking songs on here. So if I have to skip 4 or 5 of them, it's fine because I'm still getting like a good 15, 16 songs. And lately, he's just, you know, from the record he put out last year to this one, I think he's kind of like, you know, pulling away from the pack because he's there's something about his ear. I think he still has that ear for that production where I feel like Benny and Conway are definitely always trying to get out of that circle, which I get. You know, you don't want to just keep rapping over the same shit. But, you know, for big dummies like me that like the same shit, you know, like I'm just, that's what I'm looking for. So, but yeah, Westside Gun. And I know they just put out a record today. I mean, I listened to some of it, but it's just, you know, so yeah, it was with Alchemist. It was Conway, Westside, and Alchemist. But it's definitely one of those like beatless. It was like a beatless, like, you know, all like the production.
I'm done with that shit, man.
I think
so done with
I think I'm kind of done with it too. Yeah.
if I hear like you coming out like your first track or two, and I don't hear a boom bap at some point, like
Yeah.
not that that's the only the only shit, but if you're not bringing anything for me to give a slight head nod to, I can't fuck with it anymore. I don't know, it's too much stuff.
If I hear a flute, you know, for 3 minutes, like I might have to tap out on that one. You know what it is? It's just there's too much selection, so it's like, you know, I got to put it to the back. So, all right, so that's my number 3. Davey, number 2.
Number 2 is Andre Benjamin. That was a joke. Andre 3000. Joke.
Oh, yes, perfect. Yeah.
I don't know what that happened to. But,
oh yeah, good one.
Seriously, going local. Brighton record label. This is Alex DeLarge and King Kashmir. This is called The Album to End All Alien Abductions.
A lot of sci-fi today. A lot of sci-fi.
I hate sci-fi. I despise sci-fi.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But this is 24 tracks.
No, we're gonna cut you off right now. So you don't like what? Attack the Block? You don't fuck with Attack the Block?
Oh, that's a different story. I like him when he's kind of taking the piss, but yeah.
Okay.
Not Trekkie, or.
All right. All right. Carry on.
So this is 24 tracks of space age boom bap. Just like it's kind of feels like Mad Lib or NF Doom. It's a bit cut it up kind of thing. Just like comic book influenced sci-fi hip hop.
Very cool. All right, I gotta check that out, definitely. So, any album that references ET, I'm in. So, Langan, number 2.
We were talking about Andre 3000 too. I gotta say, one of the annoying things of this year was hearing people like that were like trying to like that record.
Yeah,
like trying to defend. He's making the samples of the future for people to say. You know what it reminds? Are you watching that Curse show?
Oh, okay. So
he's like that Native American artist chick fucking with Emma Stone's White Guilt, and these people like saying this record is good is like that whole relationship.
Yes. First of all, I'm 3 episodes in. That show's very funny. That way, it's not funny. It's just very like cringe.
It is
very
funny, partially, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's very cringe-inducing on purpose, and it's fucking great. So yeah. I know exactly.
So much worse. And yeah, that relationship, this is what's going on right here. But anyway, I digress. My number 2 is the Madlib, Mayhem Lauren, and Muggs record, Champagne for Breakfast. Anybody else got that?
I didn't like it.
No?
I Didn't like it, and I
This was
can't
my
believe
only Muggs record I liked this year, like overall. Like there was Muggs' is other shit. I like tracks here and there, but as far as a full piece, uh, I just love these guys together. There's so many good tracks on it. Muggs is just so versatile, and it's just that he had that Soul Assassin 3 record or whatever. That was some of that beatless shit. I wasn't really feeling that and stuff, but this was right up my wheelhouse right here.
I like May. Here's something funny about that record. I didn't like the way it was recorded. There's something about like May's voice on it. Like, I don't know. I just didn't like the mix of it, which is super picky, but I don't know. I just didn't like the mix of
Great
it.
album cover too. Love the album cover.
Yeah.
The 3 guys in the front. It's got a great look to it.
All right. So my number 2 is the most ignorant record of the year, Nems, Rise of the Silverback. I'm a fan of Pure Ignorance, and he does Pure Ignorance very well. He hasn't put out a record as good as Gorilla Monsoon since Gorilla Monsoon. That's like perfect. This one was close, like songs like fucking Pussy. Like, he isn't called Pussy, and he's telling you to fucking, if your kid's in the car, to fucking put headphones on that kid or something. Like Drip, Blicky, Keep On is the one time that he steers the ship into something different, where he tells a story about his life, and it's like more of like, like a real song and stuff like that. And it's just super on point. Just like the stuff he says. He's very transparent about, like, his dad dying from AIDS and all this other shit, and the drug problems that he had. Funny enough, my least favorite song, though, the one clunker that doesn't make this, number 1, is No Face with Fat Joe. To hear them, Fat Joe prop Nems, and it was like, okay, this is, to get that cosign, for Joe to give it to Nems, like that's a big thing for Nems for sure. And
Take the fat rapper crown.
Yeah, well, the fat Puerto Rican rapper crown for sure. And it's just like so bad. I don't really understand. Like, I feel like he phoned it in, but anyway. Yeah, I love it. It is just a really fucking ridiculous, like, Neanderthal record, and I'm here for it. So
Knuckle dragger.
Yeah, for sure. Which, sometimes I'm 51% Neanderthal. So
I get it.
all right, so number 1, here we go.
We all have the same number 1.
I feel like we do, right?
I think so. Davey, what do you got?
Davey's trying to like stay away from us on this one. Go ahead.
Mine is completely
Mars Attacks influenced sci-fi from Austria. Go ahead.
Close. It's American though. It's a Raw Poetic, Way Back In. So it was number 5 on my list last year. Is number 1 this time. This is a really interesting album. It's basically a trio. So it's him on the mic, Damu on the beats, and you've got a guitarist, almost like a jazzy, bluesy, psych guitarist. I can't describe it. So it's kind of fusion of hip hop, jazz, and garage rock.
I love that.
I didn't even know he put something out this year, because I had him on, I think, my list last year. He put out 2. Did he put out 2 records last year?
Yeah, 2 albums last year. Yeah,
they were fantastic. Something completely different, like his own shit. I loved it. I didn't even know it fucking put anything out.
This is really jazzy. It's like full of really smooth guitar playing. Like, I can't describe the guitar playing. Just really nice. Just soulful, dusty beats, and him over it. It's amazing.
Well, listen, your whole list, I'm completely almost out of touch with. So we're definitely going to need that playlist for sure. Langan, what? Rome Streets, right?
Streets, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this guy, when he puts out records, I almost know that, like, and I hear it, I'm like, this is my favorite record this year. Like, I don't need to hear anything. I think this is like the second time that happened with this guy.
So when it came out, like, let's see, it came out, February 27th. And I saw it was like him and fucking Big Ghost. And then I heard the song Gem Drop, which has the same sample.
Forget it. That record is so bananas. I can't even fucking take it. It's one of the best tracks I've heard in years.
If I owned a gun, there would be an issue. There'd be a problem. Somebody would get pistol whipped anytime that song came on.
I feel like when we're done with the show, I might have to come and scoop you up. We might have to do something dirty, like put it on. I don't even know, like rob a bank. And it's doing something to me.
Knock over
yeah, that track
7-Eleven.
is ridiculous. This Big Ghost is just, I mean, he's the fucking best out there right now. And when I hear that plinky piano shit, I'm fucking like right there, man, every time.
Well, because it's the same sample that they use for Drop a Gem for Mobb Deep, which is hence the name Gem Drop.
Right.
So I
just mean that the other tracks that aren't involved with that. He's got that plinky piano, that Muggs, like that dark side shit. I fucking love that fucking shit.
He out Muggs this year.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
He did.
So
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, and the thing with Rome is his just delivery, his storytelling. Definitely my favorite lyricist at the moment for sure. I just hear him, great tone in his voice, great description and everything that he says. And I knew back when I heard this record, just like when we heard the Muggs, record he did, I'm like, okay, that's number one. Everything else has to knock that out, and no one did.
Immediately, man. And it's called Wasn't Built in a Day, if anyone's listening. I don't know if we mentioned the title and shit, but yeah, this guy can do no wrong with me right now. I think he's already got a couple other tracks out in the can following this up. He's always fucking working.
The song he did with Joey Badass this year is one of my favorite songs. It was just like a single.
Great
fucking
stuff.
Fantastic. Those two on a song. So, cool, man. So that's it. 2023 is officially over.
Yes.
18 years of Red River celebrating today.
Holy shit.
Wow.
That really, right?
All right, listen, give or take a year. I don't my math might be off.
I know we always say we this year we're gonna keep it up. It's always like, and you sent me that link today to somebody listening to some old show. It's always amazing that, like, this is just fun, If the fact that anybody's listening is super awesome. So
a friend of mine
get 2 out a month, I'd be happy.
A friend of mine, to Phil Davian, mentioned the episode where we picked our favorite celebrity crushes, and he was laughing that Parker picked nothing but IG models. And we were just like, yeah, it's pretty funny for sure. Like, I don't know if he got the assignment. So awesome. Yo, Davey, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I know you got to get to bed, so we don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah, it's almost midnight now.
Yeah. So I know your wife's just like, oh, shut the fuck up already with these Yanks.
My wife's saying it's only 7 here, and she's telling me to shut the fuck up.
Your wife already said it. So cool. Happy New Year, buddy. So see you guys.
That's a pleasure.
All right. Bye.
Used to get my hair faded at K's Barbershop by the bargain spot. Had a flat screen, Scarface was on a lot. The drama pop when they talked about the best rapper. The fact they never said my name had me stressed after. Cop a bootleg movie or a mixtape. Sit straight, ready up the clippers with the clip spray. 0 on the side with the half moon part. Same haircut since before Black Moon started.
Big Daddy Kane held it down with a flat top, high top fade, kept it tight on every damn block. I asked my barber how the hell can I be down? He laced me with a Gumby after seeing Bobby Brown. Every little step I take was so dope. Got a design of the Benetton logo. School rockin' polo, selling rap promos. Before Insecure dude said no homo. Tell him fake the size, let it wolf on top. Tell him fake the size, let it wolf on top. Tell him fake the size.